गौरनिताय जय
जय
गौरनिताय।
जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद।
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद।
प्रभुपाद
जय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते
ओम
वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, third chapter, verse number 43. 1.3.43. कृष्णे स्वधाम उपगते
कृष्णे
धर्म
स्वाद्वामोपगते
ज्ञानादिभिषः
धर्म ज्ञानादिविषयः
कलो नष्टदृशामेषा
कलो निष्ठादशामेषा
पुराणार्कोदुनोदिता।
पुराणाकोदितोन्निता।
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
कृष्णे
धर्म
स्वादमोपगते
ज्ञानादिभिषः
धर्म ज्ञानादिविषयः
कलो नष्टदृशामेषा
कलो नष्टाद्रशामेषा
पुराणार्कोदुनोदिता। कृष्णे
पुराणाकुनोदिता।
स्वधामोपगते
कृष्णे
धर्म
स्वादमोपगते
ज्ञानादिभिषः
धर्म ज्ञानादिविषया
कलो नष्टदृशामेषा
कलो नष्टादृशामेषा
पुराणार्कोदुनोदिता।
पुराणाकुनोदिता।
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते धर्म
स्वामोपगते
ज्ञानादिभिषः
धर्म ज्ञानादिविषयः
कलो नष्टदृशामेषा
कलो निष्ठादृशामेषा
पुराणार्कोदुनोदिता।
पुराणाकुनोदिता।
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
कृष्णे स्वादमोपगते
धर्म ज्ञानादिभिषः
धर्म ज्ञानादिविषयः
कलो नष्टदृशामेषा
कलो नष्टादृशामेषा
पुराणार्कोदुनोदिता। माताजी
पुराणाकुनोदिता।
ठीक है, we'll see the word to word meaning. कृष्णे in Krishna's Swadhama on aboard, Upagate having returned, Dharma religion, Jnana knowledge, Adivihi combined together, Saha along with, Kalau in Kalyuga, Nastadrisha of persons who have lost their sight, Eshaha all these, Puranarkaha the Purana which is brilliant like the sun, Aduna just now, Udita has arrived. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki this Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. Purport. Lord Sri Krishna has eternal dharma or abode where he eternally enjoys himself with his eternal associates and paraphernalia. And his eternal abode is a manifestation of his internal energy. by his own potency, Atma Maya. His form, his name, fame, paraphernalia, abode, etc., are not therefore creations of matter. He descends to reclaim the fallen souls and to re-establish codes of religion which are directly enacted by him. Except for God, no one can establish the principles of religion. Either he or a suitable person empowered by him can dictate the codes of religion. Real religion means to know God, our relation with him, and our duties in relation with him, and to know ultimately our destination after leaving this material body. The conditioned souls who are entrapped by material energy hardly know all these principles of life. Most of them are like animals engaged in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. They are mostly engaged in sense enjoyment under the pretension of religiosity, knowledge, or salvation. They are still more blind in the present age of quarrel or Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, the population is just a royal addition of the animals. They have nothing to do with spiritual knowledge or godly religion, godly religious life. They are so blind that they cannot see anything beyond the needs of the body. They have no information of the spirit soul beyond the jurisdiction of the subtle mind, intelligence, or ego. But they are very much proud of their advancement in knowledge. Since science has material prosperity, they can risk their lives to become a dog or hog just after leaving the present body, for they have completely lost the sight of the ultimate aim of life. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna appeared before us just a little prior to the beginning of Kali Yuga, and he returned to his eternal home practically at the commencement of the Kali Yuga. While he was present, he exhibited everything by his different activities. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita specifically and eradicated all the pretentious principles of religiosity. And prior to his departure from the material world, he empowered Sri Vyasadeva through Narad to compile the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and thus both Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam are like torch bearers for the blind people of this age. I'll read it again. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita are like torch bearers for the blind people of the age of Kali. In other words, if men in this age of Kali want to see the real light of life, they must take to these two books only, and their aim of life will be fulfilled. The Bhagavad Gita is preliminary study of Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum of the life. Lord Sri Krishna personified. Lord Sri Krishna personified. We must therefore accept Srimad Bhagavatam as the direct representation of Lord Krishna. One who can see Srimad Bhagavatam can see also Lord Sri Krishna in person. They are identical. Om Ajnanadmirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsa श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं स नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुसे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Now welcome you all for today morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class discussion. So first of all, I seek blessings of all the devotees present here, that I can speak in something in glorification of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So this series of the shlokas is going on, answering the 6 questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. And one of the important question was that where the dharma has taken shelter actually once Lord Shri Krishna departed actually. So the answer is actually Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the torch bearer actually. So in the third canto, when Uddhav ji meets actually Maitreya Muni, that time Maitreya Muni also asked about his welfare, what is going on and things like that. That time actually, Uddhava was feeling a lot of separation from Krishna and he says this. You can repeat after me. Krishne Dyumani Nimaloche Ganeswa Ajagarane Naha Kim no Naha Kusalam Bruyam Gata Sri Sugraheswaham. So Sri Uddhava said, my dear Vidura, the son of the world, Lord Krishna, has said, and our house has now been swallowed by the great snake of time. What can I say to you about our welfare? So, Uddhava is saying that actually the son of, the son or the personality Krishna has disappeared. So now actually in the material world, what remains? Only darkness. Like just imagine, suppose electricity is not there, and what will be there in the night? Only darkness, pitch darkness actually. Sometime actually, when Purnima is there or Amavasya is there, we cannot see actually our hand also, properly. So much darkness is there. So similarly, Krishna has disappeared. So people will not be following any religious principles. They will not be following any regulatory principles. So since regulation will not be there and they will not be following dharma, so the situation will be full chaotic actually. Basically, everybody will be just doomed actually. So in this particular purport, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Krishna is the sun and Mathura is like the sunrise mountain. Like sunrise takes place, right? We can see behind actually there is some mountain or something like some big tall object. So Mathura is compared to like that sunrise mountain. Prabhas is, the place where Lord Krishna disappeared actually, Prabha Kshetra. So that is particular place is compared to the sunset mountain. And the righteous persons are like Chakravaka birds, which mourns in the night and rejoice in the day. The evil persons are like fogs, darkness is the totality of the sins. The devotees are like the groves of lotuses. Why groves of lotuses? Because the roots are there in the mud, but the lotus is actually untouched by the mud, whatever mud is there around. So like that, the devotees are there within the age of Kali Yuga, but they are untouched by the impurities of the age of Kali Yuga. So in this particular purport, Prabhupada focuses mainly on 3 themes, that most men are like animals because they are not following any regulatory principles. And you see also around you, actually, people, they are very happy to be, like animals. You know, they don't follow any regulatory principles. In fact, devotees when they do kirtan, they get disturbed. When we were there in PS college, we were staying actually at, I was working there that time. And there was a person just next to our house, and he used to create a lot of ruckus as soon as Mangalarti will begin. So, what was his disturbance? His disturbance is that actually he had a pet dog. And the pet dog also will get disturbed because of kirtan and things like that. So he said that, my dog will get disturbed and things like that. So I just suggested him that why don't you take your dog for morning walk? So he said, good choice, good, decision. After a few days, actually, devotees noticed that this particular person's face was also turning like the dog only, actually. So he is preparing his next life actually for dog's life. She is so much attachment is there for the dog. Little bit inconvenience he cannot, tolerate. But on the other hand, for kirtan and for Krishna Katha and for, the aim of life, he has no interest. but he has so much interest in taking care of the dog actually. So like that, most men are like animals. And Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita are the torch bearers for the blind days of the Kali. And Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. So Prabhupada in 1340 in the purport, Prabhupada explains that actually whatever benefit that one has, one could derive actually when Krishna was personally present. Same benefit one can derive when by the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam or by the personality of Srimad Bhagavatam. So today, actually, as promised last time, today we will be discussing actually the story of Dundukari and Gokarna. So this particular pastime actually is described in Padma Purana, wherein the description or the talks takes place between Sanat Kumaraj and Narad Muni. So by the way, you know that Sanat Kumaraj are the elder brothers of Narad Muni. Sanat Kumaraj the first one who are born from Brahmaji, and then subsequently, the other, personality they appear, and then, Narad Muni is also the Manasputra of Lord Brahma. So, this particular description, the elder brothers are giving, Bhagavad discourse to whom? Narad Muni actually. Narad Muni asked many questions. One specific question was about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, there they describe actually this particular story of Dundukari and Gokarna. So once it so happened that Sanat Kumaras they start describing the story now. So there was one river. There is one river in India now also, Tungabhadra river. So on the bank of this Tungabhadra river, there was one Brahman. His name was Atmadev. What was the name of the Brahman? Atmadev. So this Atmadev was a as his name, he was self-satisfied. Very nice, high-class Brahman, highly qualified, very nicely learned in the Vedic scriptures and things like that, specifically the Karma Kanda and things like that. At the same time, he was very pious person actually. So, eventually he got married to his wife Dunduli. The name of the wife was Dunduli. Dumdukari is his son actually. So Dunduli, she was very beautiful, very, nicely learned and things like that. But at the same time, she was, like ordinary, conditioned soul in the material world. She was too much attached to the post position and this, that, and everything, and the wealth, and her beauty also. Nowadays, even in the material world, also you find out actually, there are followers of Dunduli. There are actresses, there are ladies actually, they don't want to get pregnant. They don't want to beget children actually. We will come to that party in just, after this sometime. So, actually, after long, period of their marriage also actually, this Atmadev was not having any children. So then he was very morose and he was trying, he was giving a lot of charity, lot of yagyas and things he was conducting, but nothing was helping actually. So ultimately he thought actually life is good for nothing and like that. So he went to forest and he was lamenting like anything actually. He was crying like anything because at home he cannot cry like that. Brahman, no? Learned and things like that. So he went to the forest and he was lamenting like that anything. Then he met one particular sage, and the sage, saw his horoscope and things like that, and he came across that actually for 7 lives you don't have any children in your, destiny. So he was lamenting like anything, and the sage was trying to give him, nice lecture that anyway we are not this body, we are spirit soul. He told him the pastime of Chitraketu also, that how Chitraketu had a son, and then the son actually died and things like that. And the son only starts giving lecture and things like that. But all these things don't make sense to Atmadev. So Atmadev was, saying that no, 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 no. Actually, all these things are all right, but I should have a son because we have heard that putrahinam graha shunyam. In case in the house, in case there is no child only, then the house is like shunyam, or it is like a desert only, like that. So he said, then the sage said, okay, no problem. He is too much attached to his, having a son. So he said him, okay, no problem. I will do one yagya and I will give a fruit and go and give this fruit to your wife and tell him to follow these regulative principles actually. So he, conducts a yagya and then gives a fruit to, Atmadev. Atmadev takes that fruit. And while giving that fruit, the sage said this particular thing to him that tell your wife to follow these things. You can repeat after me. Satyam Socham Daya Danam Ekabhaktam Tu Bhojanam Varsavadi Striya Karyam Tena Putroti Nirmalaha. So he said, tell your wife to follow these 5 things. She should speak truth, Satyam. Okay. Then Socham, she should maintain cleanliness. Then she should be kind because she was very cruel actually at the same time. But he said that she should be very kind. She should be charitable and she should have only one meal per day, like that, you know. So all these things, all these instructions were told actually by the sage to Atmadev, and at the end of the year, actually, you will have a child, like that. So Atmadev brought this fruit and gave to his wife Dunduli. Dunduli, and he told these five instructions also, that actually you are supposed to follow these things, and we are going to have a child. Long time over, we did not have a child and things like that. So Dunduli, in front of the husband, she was pretending as if it is very nice, yeah, 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 and things like that. But once the husband went out of the house, interior room and things like that, she started thinking, oh my lord, I have to have a child. What about my figure? What about my beauty? Beauty will be lost and things like that. At the same time, I have heard that so much pain is there at the time of pregnancy, and specifically actually when the delivery takes place. So it is too much for me. And over and above, I have to be kind. I have to give charity. I am so much attached to my wealth and things like that. I have to give charity. And over and above, I have to eat only once. What will happen to my beauty? What will happen to my health and things like that? So she started lamenting like that. So modern day, many actresses and ladies also, they also are followers of Nunduli only. They also don't want to get children actually. They think that my figure will be lost and things like that. So all of them are followers of Dunduli, and eventually we'll see what was the destination of Dunduli actually, like that. So now Dundali was lamenting like this only. So as she was coming from that kind of family background only. So her father was also very greedy actually for wealth and things like that. And her sister was also very greedy for wealth and things like that. So her sister, who was not so rich, she happened to come actually to meet them actually. And the father also came. Dunduli's father also came to meet Dunduli and her sister. Both of father and sister, both of them, they came to meet, and they saw that actually Dunduli was so not so happy and things like that. Then the sister inquired, what happened? Why are you not so happy and things like that? She said, she just imagine my father, my husband told me to follow these five things. And at the end of the year we are going to have a child and things like that. But I'm too fearful of the pregnancy and the pain and this, that and everything. Over and above what will happen to my beauty and those things. So Dunduli's sister said, not a problem, you give me some wealth, I'm pregnant already and I will have a child. And at the end of 9 months or so, I will pretend that as if my child is dead, and you take your child, and once you take my child, and once you get the child, then you tell your husband that actually you are not having milk in your breast, in the mother's breast, milk is not appearing somehow or other because of some or other reason. And my sister's son already died, so 6 months I can call her and she can breastfeed the child, like that. So then Dunduli was also very happy. Her sister was also happy because she got a lot of wealth and things like that. So, after a few days, actually, the husband came, and he inquired, did you eat the fruit? And she said, okay, then what to do with the fruit? So she fed actually that fruit to the cow in the same house only, actually. So now time, passed, and every time she was putting some pillow and these things like that, covering her, stomach, and even pretending as if, the baby is growing in the stomach and things like that. And at one point of time, 9 months over, so the father came actually with the son of her other daughter actually, and he delivered that son here. And there they pretended as if the son is dead actually, like that. And once Atmadev got to know that actually he's having the son, so Atmadev was very happy that now I am having a son and things like that. So Atmadev gave a lot of charity and things like that, but Dunduli said that I'm not having milk. Can you please call my sister for 6 months? She can, breastfeed the child because her son already died and things like that, as per their plan, like that. So then the plan was executed. Her, sister came and she was feeding the child and things like that. But this fellow, at the same time, just after a few days only, the cow also gave birth to a human child. But the child was having ears like cow. So that is why his name was given as Gokarna. Because Karna, ears are like go, cow. So that is why his name was given Gokarna. And the others, Dunduli's son was given name Dundugari. Dunduli, na? Dundugari, like that. So Dundugari, was born. And both of them, they were, brought up in the same family culture and things like that. But this Dundugari was a nonsense fellow actually. He'll, play with his friends and beat them up. Sometimes even he will even kill them also, like that. Kind of Hiranyakashipu only, mini Hiranyakashipu, like that. Whereas on the other hand, Gokarna was very self-controlled, righteous, following regulatory principles properly, always obedient to his father, and he would go and associate with more and more sadhus, Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, and things like that. But Dundukari was, so much nonsense that actually he was creating a lot of trouble for everybody. But we see actually, Dunduli, she was not so chaste. Actually, she was, cheating her husband. So since she was cheating her husband actually, and the, son who was so called their son, actually was not their son, he was the son of their sister, her sister. Was creating a lot of trouble actually for in the house. And that time actually, Atmadev gets really disturbed and things like that. So he goes to the sages and he inquires that what will be my duty and things like that. So the sages, they say him that actually in case at the house, no, you can repeat after me. Santushta lolupa daksha dharmagna priya satyava apramatta suchi snigdha patim tva patitam bhajet. So now the sages, they say that actually at the house the wife is supposed to have these duties. So please go and instruct your wife like this. So what are the duties of a chaste wife? A chaste woman should not be greedy. She should not be too much greedy for the wealth and tell the husband, go work hard, earn more money, bring for me, and things like that. And in case you are not having a better package here, go out of this country, or go out of this state, go out of this country only, go out of the world only, but get money somehow or other for me. Basically, that is the point. So, but the sages are saying that the wife should not be greedy for the wealth, and she should be satisfied in all circumstances. She must be very expert in handling household affairs and should be fully conversant with religious principles. She should speak pleasingly and truthfully and should be very careful and always clean and pure. Thus, a chaste wife can bring lot of prosperity and good name and fame actually for the house. Same thing is being described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That's why I've taken the same sloka. So, as the Dundukari comes, sorry, Atmadev comes and tells Dundali these things and all. She says nothing doing all these things. You keep giving so many lectures and things like that. Already we have a son, no problem. He's little naughty, not a problem, and things like that. So now, as time passed, actually this Dundukari became very, nonsense. He started even, beating. He started going and breaking regulatory principles. He was born in a Brahmin family, but he started going actually for prostitute houses, liquor and these things and all. And at one point of time, at one day, actually, he bet both, Dunduli and Atmadev. So Atmadev was really troubled. My lord, what kind of nonsense fellow has come? I went to the sage actually for his blessings, and the sage really told me that actually I should follow from the path of what the path Chitraketu Maharaj was following and things like that. But when Gokarna got to know that actually this kind of nonsense are taking place in his house, so Gokarna went for a training actually to in a Gurukul, and he was getting learned and things like that. And Atmadev was really troubled. So Atmadev was so much trouble that he was thinking to renounce the world and go away. So now till now we are seeing only four characters, right? Atmadev, Dunduli, and Dundukar, and Gokarna. So Atmadev was trying to renounce the world and go away. That time actually, then Gokarna, he was a highly learned, pure devotee of the Lord. So he gives, lectures to, our Atmadev. The son is teaching now to Atmadev, to his father only. Before that, actually, just before for this particular sloka, how a sadhaka applies this particular sloka in his life. See, a sadhaka is also like a chaste wife to his spiritual master. Not literally, but in spirit actually. So he should also behave in the same way actually. So it is not that this particular sloka is applicable only for Matajis, but to every sadhaka actually. That the sadhaka also should, behave in the same way actually with the spiritual master. So now, uh, Gokarna is teaching to his his father only, and he is saying actually many things actually. So we will discuss actually six main things, and we'll have an acronym also for these things. Ko artha putrena jatena. Ko artha putrena jatena. यो न विद्वान् धार्मिका काणेन चक्षुषा किं वा Chakshu Pidava Kevalam. What is the value of a son who is neither learned nor religious? Such a son is compared to a blind eye that is only a source of pain. So, like that, who was feeling? Atmadev was feeling, and Atmadev was wanting to renounce and things like that. But then Gokarna actually teaches him many nice lessons. So, one of the things he says him, Vairagya Raga Rashiko Bhava Bhakti Nistha. So, he was saying, says him many things actually. Those things we'll discuss. So you get attached to renunciation, but not it's not ended there only. Many times people are too much, they speak about renunciation. Oh, Maya is there, sense gratification is this, that, and everything like that. But Gokarna is saying that don't stop there itself. As soon as you understand, in fraction of a second, your life will change. What is that? Bhava Bhakti Nistha. One should develop love of God. And how one can develop that love of God? By associating with the devotees. So he says, many things he says, but one of the prominent thing he describes to him was about association of devotees. And in association of devotees, what will take place? Satam prasangan mama virya samvido भवन्तिरित्कर्णरसायन कथा तज्जोषणादास्वपवर्गवर्त्मनि श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमश्यति. So he's describing him that you go and associate with that sadhus and don't do prajalpa there. Don't ask again that, what will happen to my wife, what will happen to my, son, he is such a nonsense and things like that. How I can be more peaceful at house and things like that. So he says him that go and associate with sadhus and inquire about the supreme personality of Godhead. What is ultimate good for you and those things. So basically he tells him 6 things to follow in his life. What are those 6 things? So that I have given a acronym actually. It's a very long thing. It will take probably 3 or 4 hours of description actually what the instruction that Gokarna gave to Atmadev. So Gokarna's instructions for his father, Satyam, you can remember. S refers to Sadhu Sangha. So he told him that go and associate with sadhus, don't go and associate with materialistic people. Next one, appreciate qualities in others, not faults. So now Gokarna wants him that you are going to forest. Why are you going to the forest? Because you are troubled by his son. Otherwise, he would not think only of going actually to forest. So he is going to forest and actually he is going to renounce everything. So don't meditate on the fault of your son, Dundugari. Because of him, I came into, got in trouble and things like that. Rather, little good is also there, no problem. Appreciate. And it is because of Dundukari actually you are getting this renunciation spirit, which is very rare to obtain within the material world. Otherwise, people are too much attached on you all the time like that. No, Gokarna says to his father. And the next he says, no, Tyaja Loka Dharman, give up useless labor of working hard, earning money, maintaining family members, maintaining actually the body and things like that. Now is the time for you actually to go renounce everything, Vanaprastha time, and meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That doesn't mean that one becomes irresponsible. One should take care of his work very nicely actually. Like His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj says, when you go to office, in the office hours, parallelly don't try to do devotional service. Because if you do your office work properly, understanding that it is an offering to Krishna, Krishna will be really pleased. So in during office hours, actually just do office work. And when you are there in the house, that time you just steal some time for giving to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and for preaching. Like that Maharaj says. So one thing at a time makes a man superman. So when we are there in the office, we should do only office work. When we are there in devotee circle, that time we should do devotional activity. That doesn't mean that in office we become demons only. No, do your duty. That's all. Like that. So he says him that give up useless labor of working hard because you are already renouncing like that. And yearn to give up sense pleasures because Atmadev was very much nicely, he was very wealthy and was taken care very nicely at home and things like that. So he says that yearn to give up sense pleasures attached to big dullo pillow bed and things like that. I will sleep only on thick foam. I'll sleep only in this direction. Or as soon as I get up, actually hot water should be there and things like that. So people sometimes they have too much demand actually for their sense pleasures and things like that. So one should give up the yearning for sense pleasure. And A refers to again always remember Krishna. Try to remember Krishna actually. As soon as you get time, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And how one can do that? See, when we are going to bathroom, when we are coming out, when we are going on the way, when we are driving, anything that we are doing, actually, we can hear kirtan, we can sing kirtan, we can sing slokas, we can recite slokas, by which our spiritual, our intelligence gets actually spiritualized. Actually, so in association of devotees, very simple only, very easy actually to remember Krishna. And then M refers to meditate by enjoying devotional service and hearing Lord's glories. So meditate on the right activities like that. He tells him actually. So these are the six things he tells. Satyam, you can remember. S refers to sadhu sangha. A refers to appreciate good qualities in others. Don't meditate on the faults of others. And T refers to tyaja loka dharmam. Give up useless labor. Y refers to yearn to give up sense pleasures. A refers to always remember Krishna, and M refers to meditate by enjoying devotional service. Like that. So, as time passed, actually, you can pay attention this side. As time passed, Dunduli was staying at house with her son Dundukari, and Atmadev was left to the forest. One day, now actually, this Dundukari, he was already, into bad habits and things like that. He says to Dunduli that now you reveal me where and all father has kept wealth, because I need for gambling, I need for drinking, I need for going to prostitutes' house and things like that. And he says that if you don't give me, I'll beat you only. So one, two times he bet also. So one fine day, actually, Dunduli, you know, because of the fear of actually Dundukari, she jumped in one well and committed suicide. So the acharyas, specifically, Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, while explaining this particular pastime, he describes that actually our karma will come back to us. So Dunduli was trying to avoid the pain of pregnancy. She was trying to avoid actually the miseries, whatever was written in her quota, and not being obedient to her husband. The ultimate result was that actually she committed suicide actually because of the fear of her own son only, like that. So he says that here, Yata dhenu sahasreshu vatso gacchati mataram tatha yacha kritam karma kartaram manugacchati. Amongst thousands of cows, the calf finds its own mother cow. Similarly, the results of our past karma, when fully ripened, will find us without fail. So, as you sow, so shall you reap. Like that. Newton's third law: every action has equal and opposite reaction, not reaction, opposite reaction, like that. So Dundukari, was troubling like anything. Now we'll see actually eventually Dundukari also suffers actually the action of his own reactions. Sorry, reaction of his own actions, like that. Now Dundukari actually has, his mother had committed suicide already. Now whatever wealth was there actually was belonging to him only. So practically he brought this prostitutes only at his house, and he was enjoying day in and day out with them. So four prostitutes he brought, and he used to loot people. Actually, he used to beat people and everything, as all nonsense activities he used to do. So he became a very famous criminal actually within the town, and the news was going actually to the king's court also. So these four prostitutes, they thought, now, my lord, this fellow is now becoming a hit list in the eyes of the king. And tomorrow, if the king comes to catch this particular fellow, we will also be caught. So what to do? We want his wealth also actually. So all of them, they came together and they tried killing this fellow. So they hanged him actually. But this fellow was so stubborn, he was not dying only. So what they did is actually they took hot charcoal and put on his throat actually, and in his mouth actually. Four of them, they caught him, tied him very nicely after making him drink liquor and things like that. And they put hot charcoal in his mouth. Full, body was filled actually with charcoal and things like that. Just imagine, he has beaten up his wife, husband and father and mother, right? Now the reactions are coming to Dundukari also, like that. Yata gachati tat karma, like karma will come back to us, like that. So again, he died a very horrible death actually. And since he died very untimely, he got a ghastly body. And now this particular ghost was running here and there, and he was suffering like anything actually. Just imagine, the ghostly body means you don't have facility to drink, you don't have facility to eat, you don't have facility to do anything actually. At the same time, the urges are there. So how miserable or how painful actually a person feels when he commits suicide or when he becomes a ghost actually, like that. So much pain he was suffering like that. Eventually, actually, Gokarna's training gets over. He comes back, and these four prostitutes, they left the house actually selling most of the gold and things like that from the house, telling everybody else that actually this particular fellow actually went to far off place to earn lot of money and things like that. So these four prostitutes, they ran away from the house. But now Gokarna comes back to his house, and one day he was sleeping. When he was sleeping, actually, this ghost was appearing to him, and he was appearing in different forms. So Gokarna, he was a pious soul, so he talks to him. He says, "Hey, tell me, who are you?" So then he starts crying, and he reveals that actually I am your brother only, Dundukari. Please do something so that I can actually get relieved. So knowing that actually my brother has died like this, so Gokarna actually goes to different holy places and tries doing actually the Shraddha ceremony and things like that, but nothing was happening actually. He got some suffering got reduced actually for the ghostly body, but he was not completely relieved actually. So then Gokarna went and asked the sages and the sadhus that what to do. My brother is in the ghostly body somehow or other. Please tell me so that he can be you know uh, relieved from these things. So some of them they were saying that go and do Shraddha and all. He said I already did those things. Nothing is helping. So then one of the says he says that you ask sun god because the sun god is highly learned actually because he is whose guru? Hanumanji is guru also. No? Sun god is actually father of Yamaraj, but he is guru of Hanumanji, highly learned. So that is why we should not consider the demigods to be ordinary personalities. So Gokarna had the ability immediately connected to sun god. No, he just matched his frequency actually, meditated on with sun god. And then he asked the sun god that please reveal me that how can I deliver my brother. So then that time actually sun god says to Gokarna, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam mukti saptahe vachanam kuru iti suryavacha sarve dharma rupam tu visrutam. The sun god declared that by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for 7 days as per as scriptural rules, Dundukari will be released from his ghostly form. So it is not that actually we have to read only Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 7 days, but Prabhupada says what? Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. And practical application of that Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya is what? Regular attendance in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam classes. One may think that I will, always I am remembering Krishna. Like you go and ask any person in India, you touch them. Are you chanting the holy name of the Lord or you should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? They will say, हमारा तो 24 आवर्स चलता रहता है अंदर ही अंदर चलता रहता है अरे थोड़ा अंदर चलता है उसको थोड़ा बाहर भी निकालो बाबा but people are like so foolish they will not accept the instructions of scriptures very easily like that they are determined thieves actually like that. So this sun god declared actually the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam to whom? Gokarna. So Gokarna now prepares actually for a Srimad Bhagavatam Sapta. And again, sun god says one more sloka, repeat after me. Ardram suskam laghu sthulam vanamanah karma bhikritam श्रवणं विदहेत् पापं पावका समिधो यथा. Irrespective of whether the article is moist or dry, small or big, fire consumes it. Similarly, 7 days hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam eradicates all kinds of sins. So, be it recent or long standing, minor or major, whether prepared in thought, word, or deed. So, like that. So, this particular, that is why actually there are people in India, they are taking only Bhagavad Sapta. But this particular instruction was specifically only for whom? Dundukari was a, ghostly body like that. So now Gokarna actually starts describing. He prepares for Srimad Bhagavatam, Sapta, and he calls. So all the village people also they also come and they also sit actually for Bhagavatam class. And the Bhagavatam class goes for how many days? 7 days, not nights, only days. And night time actually all of the villagers they go to their houses, relax, and have nice time, have lunch, breakfast, dinner. In between they go for doing their household activities also. But one personality was very highly attentive. Who was he? Dundukari, because he was suffering so much actually. And since he was having ghostly body, ethereal body, he was not able to stand in one place. So he occupied actually one bamboo. and the bamboo was having 7 knots. So each day one knot was getting released actually, and he was progressing actually, in the bamboos, like hollow bamboo, right? So in the hollow bamboo he was staying, and one knot was breaking in every day like that. So he was getting that much, released or liberated actually from his material, conditions like that. So daytime, Dundukari would hear actually Srimad Bhagavat Sapta from whom? Gokarna. And night time, full he will meditate. He will remember. He will, contemplate on the subject matter actually. So now, after hearing all these things, 7 days over. And after 7 days, the plane from the spiritual world comes, the Vishnu Dutas they come, the Hari Dutas they come, and they take Gokarna actually. But before, sorry, they take Dundukari. But before Dundukari goes actually to spiritual world, at the end of Bhagavad Sapta, he was so grateful to Gokarna that because of you actually I got released. And because of hearing the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, actually I got released from my conditioned soul, conditioned, body. So he, in great, grateful heart, great attitude, actually, he describes the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And with lot of gratitude, actually, he, circumambulates Gokarna, and then he, boards the abode of, the plane of going back to God. But before that, he describes the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hmm. So, I'll see the next sloka since time is very less. So, Yat prata samskritam chanam सायं तच्च विनश्यति तदयारः संस्पृष्टे काये कानां नीतयता काये कानां नित्यता. The food that is prepared in morning gets spoiled in the evening automatically. So what kind of eternity can body which is nourished by such kind of food have? So like that he laments that the material body I was trying to enjoy, and I was trying to get relish out of that, but actually nothing is there actually in all those things. But rather the real joy was there in Srimad Bhagavatam, because of which I got released actually. So now, actually, Gokarna asks the Vishnu Dutas before they took actually Dundukari back to Godhead, that I did describe the Srimad Bhagavatam actually not only to Dundukari, but all the villagers they are also sitting. Na? Why is only one plane came? There has to be many planes, right? They also should go back to Godhead. So that time, actually, the Vishnu Dutas they say that actually the hearing, the intensity of Dundukari was very high, whereas the villagers they were hearing, they were aramse relaxed, not so much worried about anything like that. In between going, sometime for passing water, sometime for one number, sometime for two number, sometime nothing is there to receive some phone call and things like that. So they were, their intensity of hearing was not so nice. So there they describe this particular sloka, that how the result of Sravanam gets spoiled and how one can really get benefit of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam classes. So they say that Sravanasya vibedena phalabhedopi samsita Sranam nu kritam sarve na tatha mananam kritam फलभेदस्ततो जातो भेजनादपि मानदा. The difference in treatment is because of the difference in hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. Though all the people present here had heard Srimad Bhagavatam, the intensity of hearing was not the same for all. That is the reason for difference in reward. Although everyone heard Srimad Bhagavatam. So the particular word that being used in sloka is actually na tatha mananam kritam. Mananam kritam means what? They were not contemplating on the subject matter. They were not remembering, actually they were not making notes of the subject matter actually. That is why making notes, contemplating on the subject matter is very important. Like, just after Srimad Bhagavatam class, next thing is what? The most favorite activity of the devotees is what? Prasadam. So generally we go and sit with prasadam and we will discuss salt is less, salt is more, prasadam is very this, that and everything. We can rather discuss actually about the morning class points. What are the different things that were discussed? Like yesterday we heard morning Prabhupada class. What are the main theme line, things of Prabhupada discussion that Prabhupada described actually? Krishna's appearance. Okay, Krishna's appearance is what? It's bewildering, but not misleading. Then what else? Sometimes we got like blank only. What was yesterday? Prabhupada class was there. Huh? Like that also we get doubt actually. Like. But rather if we contemplate on the subject matter actually, then it will be very easy to recollect. That is called what? Nididhyasanam. Like that. Mananam. So that has to be done. If that is not done, one will not get the real result of hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. One will get some agyat sukriti, there is no doubt. But the real result one will get when provided one makes nice notes. His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj was very much particular actually about making class notes in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam classes and then contemplating on that, asking devotees, discussing and things like that. This is called actually, real hearing of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Anyways, the time is very less. So we'll just conclude here that then again actually Gokarna says, okay, no problem, once more I'll give Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Hariduta also say that once more you describe Srimad Bhagavatam, all these people now with full intensity they will hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and at the end of that many airplanes will come actually and they all will take them back home back to Godhead. And for you Gokarna specifically, Krishna personally will come and take you back home back to Godhead. Like, so then Gokarna again describes Srimad Bhagavatam and Lord Krishna personally comes and many airplanes comes and all the villagers, they also go back home, back to Godhead. Like that. So that was these are the glories of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And just imagine how fortunate we are that Prabhupada has given us such a nice, theme line, everything he has basically, pre-planned for us. Morning get up, chant early morning, your rounds, then hear Srimad Bhagavatam, take prasad, go daytime, go to office, evening time, come back, and utilize time for preaching, discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, personally reading Srimad Bhagavatam, then preparing it for others and things like that. So we are so fortunate and we should be so grateful to Prabhupada that Prabhupada made a rule. Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya means what? Regular attendance in Srimad Bhagavatam. So just in conclusion, last 1 minute is remaining. So we discussed actually a lot of things, but main thing, take home at the end of the class discussion is that Satyam. S refers to Sadhu Sangha. A refers to appreciate others. Don't find fault in others actually. Then T refers to Tyaja.
Tyagi.
Give up useless labors. Y refers to yearn to give up
To sense
sense
pleasure.
pleasures. A refers to always
Always
remember Krishna. M means meditate on
meditate by
devotional service
enjoying
and the glories
devotion.
of devotional service. Then we
Yes.
discussed actually about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, how just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, even Surya Devi is also saying that your brother will be delivered. What, was not helpful, like, Shraddha, this, that, all those things were not helpful actually. But hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam should be carried out without fail. If somebody is not doing Shraddha, also not a problem. But I'm not saying that I'm an authority on that. No, Surya Devi is saying like that. But and you are not able to do all the karma kanda ritualistic activities, not a problem. But Srimad Bhagavatam class should not be missed out actually at any cost. And now actually with the advancement of technology, we have more advanced technology. If you are not able to hear offline, at least online we can hear, right? But the quality of hearing in the association of devotees will be always much more higher than the quality of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam class online actually. The quality will go down. And at the end, not to deviate, Prabhupada never recommended Bhagavad Sapta only. Prabhupada was dead against this word, Bhagavad Sapta. So Prabhupada always wanted what? Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Devotee should be always absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam and the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. But there are people, Karmakanda set of people who take Srimad Bhagavatam or you use Srimad Bhagavatam actually for that purpose. Not a problem. In any case, actually one should hear Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever, the situation will be. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Time is already 8:30, so no question answers. No. Please continue with your things. In case any of you have something to ask, you can personally come and discuss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much,
Hare
all the
Krishna.
online devotees who are
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
extending their time to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. I hope
Thank you.
it was not boring.
No,
No,
it was wonderful,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Prabhuji, it's
Thank
a
you for a
wonderful.
wonderful class.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.